I don't think about it that much, but the numbers are pretty overwhelming, yeah.
Martina Navratilova has witnessed nearly everything the sport of tennis has delivered over the past 5 decades.
What makes a champion tennis player?
What makes a champion? Anything. It's the same old, champions don't quit until they get it right. They're the first ones in the gym and the last ones to leave, and they're not afraid to fail.
Over the years, she has witnessed champions rise, generational talents dominate, packed stadiums erupt, and cultural moments that reshaped tennis forever. Yet even Martina Navratilova is now watching something she didn't quite expect. A 20-year-old from the Philippines, Eala, drawing massive crowds at BNP Paribas Open, with fans crowding around the courts and even pressing against fences just to catch a glimpse of her practice sessions. It's the kind of buzz that surprises even the most experienced eyes in the sport. So the big question now is, how far can Eala go at Indian Wells 2026? Quarterfinals, semifinals, or maybe a shocking run that nobody saw coming? Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Tennis.
I've only dreamed of making tennis grow in the Philippines, and now I'm bringing a whole new audience to tennis all around the world.
And she's humble, and she works hard.
Humble.
Yes. That's why we like her, because she's the face of the Philippines.
Just aside from her talent, she's also thinking of the future.
The Filipinos we have such a strong sense of community, and I feel like when one of us does well or one of us is succeeding, we all have that shared sense of pride.
So when Eala plays, we all get together and we all watch her support her as a group of people.
Are there actual gatherings?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Really? Oh yeah.
Okay.
We plan our dinners around that stuff.
Really? You signed up for Tennis Channel to watch her?
Yeah, because sometimes they don't show it.
So the year subscription, just in case.
The monthly.
Oh, the monthly. Okay.
The monthly, just in case she doesn't play, then we don't. Right? You only pay when she plays. It's paid to play.
My friends will tell me that the courts are full at home and just so many things that I didn't think would happen because of what I'm doing on tour. So.
Let's start with the image that's currently blowing up across the internet, and apparently overwhelming the organization at Indian Wells Tennis Garden. It's practice court 6. Not a main stadium, not a featured match court, just a simple practice area. Yet somehow, the scene there has turned chaotic. Fans are crowding around the fences, even spilling over from nearby courts, all trying to catch a glimpse of Eala during a routine warm-up before she has even played a single official point. The buzz has grown so intense that Christopher Eubanks, a former ATP professional who knows what normal tournament crowds look like, went on broadcast and suggested that organizers may actually need to move Eala to a larger practice court. According to him, the sheer number of fans flooding the area could become a genuine safety concern. Think about that for a moment. A safety concern at a practice session for a player ranked number 32 in the world at the BNP Paribas Open. That's the level of attention surrounding Eala at Indian Wells 2026. And for anyone who believed the buzz she generated in Dubai was just a one-tournament phenomenon, this week is proving to be a very uncomfortable reality check. Tennis.
We're not concerned about anyone else right now. It's Eala time. This is Eala's moment. Our days, our dinners, our evenings are fixated on when she's playing. That's real tennis fandom right there. Love it.
This is so great for tennis in general.
Yeah.
I think having players like Alex out there, and she's so gracious to all her fans. She spends time with her fans, signs the autographs, takes the photos, and really just shows the Filipino community that it is all about the Philippines. And I still carry that flag with me no matter where I go across the world. And such a young woman at that has that wisdom of just what it means to play for her country.
Only 20 years old, such maturity, already a hero to her entire nation. I mean, it's basically Manny Pacquiao and Eala, right? I mean,
That's it. That's it.
That's who they're looking up to right now.
Let's rewind to Dubai, because that's where the blueprint for everything now unfolding in California was first written. At the Dubai Tennis Championships, the tournament director Sulla Tolick gave an interview after the event that caught the attention of the entire tennis world. He confirmed that every single match featuring Eala was completely sold out. Not just well attended, not just popular, completely gone. His wording was deliberate. He explained that fans were desperately trying to get tickets, but there were simply none left. Then he added the statement that really made people stop and pay attention. Since taking charge of the tournament in 2019, he said he had never seen anything like it. Think about that for a moment. This is a tournament that has hosted world number ones and reigning Grand Slam champions. Yet a player ranked outside the top 30 created an atmosphere the tournament director described as unprecedented. That is a very different claim than saying the crowds were large or the energy was good. And he chose those words because they accurately reflected what was happening, or what was Eala actually doing on the court during all this attention? In the round of 32, she defeated world number 7 Jasmine Paolini, her first top 10 victory of the 2026 season. From there, she pushed deep into the tournament before eventually falling in the quarterfinals to world number 4 Coco Gauff, losing 6-0, 6-2 on paper. That scoreline looked one-sided. But the path that led to that match told a much bigger story about where Eala's game currently stands and how quickly she is developing on the professional tour. She arrived in Dubai with a 10-6 record for the 2026 season, already building momentum with a semi-final run at the ASB Classic and multiple quarter-final appearances across other tournaments. Those results pushed her to a career-high ranking of world number 31. That ranking was enough to secure a top 32 seed at the BNP Paribas Open, earning her a first-round bye at a WTA 1000 event for the first time in her career. First-round bye is a privilege reserved for the highest-ranked players in the draw. It allows them to skip the opening round and move directly into the round of 64. It's not just a logistical advantage, it reflects how far a player has climbed in the rankings and how much respect they have earned on the tour. Now Eala has arrived in California, and the ticket frenzy that began in the UAE has followed her across continents, with even greater intensity. California happens to have the largest Filipino population in the United States, nearly 2 million people. These are fans who don't need to travel internationally to watch her play. They're already there, already connected to her story, and they've turned out in huge numbers at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The fans crowding around practice court 6 weren't doing it because they couldn't get match tickets. They were doing it because they wanted to be as close to Eala as possible at any moment during the tournament. That kind of devotion doesn't come from casual interest. It comes from a fanbase that has followed her journey for years and feels personally invested in every point she plays. Broadcast analysts even started asking a question that has since spread across the tennis world. Could Eala already be the biggest draw in women's tennis right now? One commentator pointed to the standing room-only crowds she generated in Australia and Dubai, describing the atmosphere around her matches as massive. He even compared the excitement to the surge of interest created by Jannik Sinner during his breakout rise on the men's tour, except some analysts now believe the reaction surrounding Eala may actually be bigger. When the discussion turned to whether she might currently attract more attention than stars like Aryna Sabalenka or Coco Gauff, players most people would normally consider the sport's biggest draws, one analyst answered plainly, yes. Anyone who disagrees with that assessment may first have to explain something simple: the sold-out practice courts. Then there's the perspective of Martina Navratilova, whose comments about Eala carry enormous weight. Navratilova has seen nearly every era of modern tennis. She owns 18 Grand Slam singles titles and even won back-to-back titles at Indian Wells in her 30s. She has watched the sport evolve across generations, from Chris Evert to Steffi Graf to Serena Williams. When Navratilova evaluates a rising player, it carries a level of authority that's rare in today's commentary landscape, a world where opinions are everywhere, but genuine expertise is much harder to find. Martina Navratilova recently sat down with the official platform of the Women's Tennis Association for a Sunshine Swing preview ahead of the BNP Paribas Open. When the conversation turned to Eala, Navratilova actually laughed before answering. For people who follow Navratilova closely, that laugh wasn't dismissive at all. It was the reaction of someone seeing a phenomenon that's difficult to neatly explain. She described Eala as a crafty player, highlighting how her left-handed game creates real tactical problems for opponents. According to Navratilova, Eala's variety and creativity on court make her unpredictable in ways that many players struggle to handle. Then came the comment that truly turned heads. Navratilova spoke about the cultural wave building around Eala and compared it to the global impact of Manny Pacquiao. But she went even further, suggesting that Eala's potential ceiling could actually be higher. Hearing that from one of the greatest players in tennis history about a 20-year-old ranked outside the top 30 is the kind of statement that instantly grabs attention across the sport. But Navratilova didn't stop at praise. True to her reputation, she followed it with an honest evaluation of where Eala still needs improvement. The area she pointed to was the serve. She explained that Eala needs to develop a bigger serve with more kick, noting that her relatively slight build can make it harder to generate the kind of pace that many top 10 players rely on to control points from the very first shot. What makes this criticism important is what Navratilova didn't question. She didn't raise concerns about Eala's movement, her shot selection, her tennis IQ, or her mental strength in big matches. Instead, she identified one clear technical area for improvement and framed it as a physical development challenge rather than a strategic or psychological flaw. Coming from someone with Navratilova's deep understanding of the game, that kind of focused critique can actually be interpreted as a major compliment. In essence, she's saying that most of the foundation is already strong, and if the serve improves, the entire conversation about Eala's level could shift dramatically. The timing of these comments also fits into a broader observation Navratilova made during the same interview. She warned leading stars like Aryna Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, and Coco Gauff that the tour is evolving quickly. Players like Eala represent a new generation that studies opponents carefully, approaches matches with clear tactical plans, and steps onto the court without being intimidated by established champions. According to Navratilova, that mindset signals a structural shift in the sport rather than just a single breakout season. Meanwhile, Eala enters Indian Wells carrying more than just crowd hype and rising expectations. Back in 2025, she made a stunning semi-final run at the Miami Open, defeating major names along the way, including Madison Keys and Yelena Ostapenko. That run earned her a huge amount of ranking points, and those points now need to be defended this season for results during the Sunshine Swing fall short of what she achieved last year in Miami. Her ranking could drop right at the moment when a breakthrough into the top 20 is within reach. On the other hand, a deep run at Indian Wells, reaching the quarterfinals or beyond, could push her into that elite top 20 territory for the first time. Breaking into the top 20 would be a massive milestone. It would affect her seedings at Grand Slam tournaments, influence the difficulty of her draws, and change the narrative surrounding her career. Instead of being described as a rising star or breakthrough story, she would be viewed as a firmly established contender on the WTA Tour. The draw at Indian Wells isn't exactly easy, but it's far from impossible. A win over Diana Yastremska in the round of 64 opened the door to a potential rematch with Coco Gauff in the third round, the same opponent who defeated her 6-0, 6-2 earlier in Dubai. Beyond that, a possible quarterfinal meeting with Jasmine Paolini is also on the table. A player Eala already defeated earlier in the season for her first top 10 victory of the year is also competing in the doubles draw alongside Eva Liss, currently ranked inside the world's top 20. The pair already showed their chemistry earlier in the season with a semi-final run at the ASB Classic. Going deep in both singles and doubles across 2 demanding weeks in the California desert is a serious physical test, one that reveals how well a player has prepared for the long season. So far in 2026, every sign suggests Eala has invested heavily in her conditioning. One detail perfectly captures the strange scale of what's happening around her right now. Christopher Eubanks recently warned that the crowds gathering around her practice sessions could become a safety concern, suggesting tournament officials may need to move her to larger courts. That's a remarkable situation. A former ATP professional urging organizers to change court assignments because of overwhelming fan demand, for a player who hasn't yet won a main tour title. The gap between Eala's ranking and the real-world impact she's creating has become one of the most unusual storylines in recent tennis history. The Indian Wells Tennis Garden set an all-time attendance record last year with more than 54,000 fans over 15 days. At that time, Eala wasn't even part of the conversation. Now she's entered the tournament as a seeded player at a WTA 1000 event for the first time, and fans are already crowding practice courts before she has played a single official match. Navratilova laughed when her name came up. The tournament director in Dubai ran out of tickets. Broadcast analysts are comparing the phenomenon to the biggest crowd surges in modern tennis. And a former ATP player is talking about safety concerns at practice sessions. The hype is real. The demand is undeniable. And the level of tennis underneath it all is strong enough to justify every bit of the excitement. That's the full picture of what Alex Eala is bringing to Indian Wells 2026. And why the tennis world is still processing what Navratilova said about her potential. This story got you excited about what comes next. Hit that like button, drop your prediction in the comments, and subscribe for more updates. Because this story is far from over. Tennis Fire.